Hey everyone, Karneck here of Star Wars Armada Explained. I'm bringing a SWAE battle video to you all today. I had the pleasure to play I Am a Potato, and he flew an Imperial fleet. I flew Rebels. I've been experimenting more with Rebels recently. I've been a mainstream Imperial player pretty much my entire time, just dabbling in Rebels. And I threw this list together a little while ago. I've played a game or two with it. I don't play Rebels, and it really shows in this game, and I'll point out my mistakes and what's going on. But in terms of like this list, I've been really wanting to play more Ackbar and Intensify Firepower and have assault potatoes in there, and so I've been messing around with this list, and this is inspired kind of by Schmitty has been running some Ackbar and some Intensify, and I'm like, that looks fun. I want to try that, but I still want it to be like competitive and somewhat decent. So I think you guys are gonna like the list. So it is squadron list, so give or take, that for if you feel like that's your shtick or not. I don't ever play squadron lists, so I'm forcing myself to just kind of play things I don't normally play, because that's how you get better. You don't play the same things you're good at. You play things that you're not very good at. Another thing too, by playing Rebels, I also just want to get a better understanding, increase my understanding too about some more of the in-depth tactics they use. I may understand a lot about them, but when they're sitting across me from the table, by knowing more about what things can and can't do, only helps me being able to beat them. All right, so my flagship is an MC-80 assault cruiser. It's got Ackbar, it's got Bale, engine techs, ECM, early warning system, leading shots, quad battery turrets, and Defiance. This is 195 points. It is a very, very expensive ship, and if it blows up, that is bad news for me. But MC-80s are just tough nuts to crack, especially the assault cruiser variant with the ECM and the early warning system, and it's going slow with the quad batteries and Defiance. This is a list that has 5 activations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've half debated switching Bale out for Strategic Advisor or keeping Bale, because the list caps, it comes in at 399, so anyone who wants first is going to get first. And I just feel like Bale's the better choice, because for the one turn, that's all you need to be able to just pop something that's trying to come up on you, and so you just judge when you need Bale for that. Uh, the next thing I have is an assault potato with Lando and Cackle and Dackle, as I call them. I know they're Caitken and Shollan, and ECM. So these 3 cards, with Ackbar, you don't need gunnery teams. I mean, you can bring gunnery teams. It's definitely a viable option. The issue then is that you don't have reliable reroll option. So I like bringing these guys, because if you're going to Ackbar, I'd rather make it be one good shot from the side rather than a mediocre shot that could just blank out and not be very good. Um, Another thing too is that with the assault frigate, if I am double arcing something, double arcing something is typically usually better than just throwing a fistful of dice at one target. In terms of you want to spend defense tokens, etc. And with Lando and ECM, he makes it a hard target for other ships, even large ships, to kind of go after him. So he's very survivable just between ECM and Lando. Obviously, you don't want to just throw it in front of a bunch of ships that are all going to shoot at it. It will overheat its tokens and will die. But it can take a punch. That's what I love about the assault frigates. They can just take a punch and just keep flying and doing their thing. Next up, we've got a Pelta. So I take the Assault Pelta variant because I want it cheap. I just want to have Intensify Firepower. And then I had extra points left over. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make this thing that if someone wants to come get it and they want to come punch it in the face, depending on what that punch is like, if it survives the punch, I want it to counter punch with external racks, and I want it to punch whatever it's trying to kill it back in the face. The engine text makes it so that I try to play a little baity, a little cagey with it. I just love Ahsoka. I had the room for it, so I brought Ahsoka. And also just kind of as an emergency, like, oh crap, maybe a flotilla died. Maybe I have a different token on the ship that's not a concentrate fire token. I need to be able to change that to a concentrate fire token to keep triggering my Intensify Firepower. So this brings the Pelta in at 75 points. So even if it's the only ship I lose, I mean, if you table your opponent, you're still getting a 10-1. So it's kind of a, I use it in this game. You'll see I kind of use it as a bait ship. And then just two GR75s of CompsNet. One to follow the Pelta around, and the other one to follow my MC-80 around. Maybe toss a token or two to the Assault Frigate. The Assault Frigate is pretty much self-contained. Um, for the objectives, I'm still kind of messing around with it, but I took Advanced Gunnery, Hyperspace Assault, and Minefields. Why Minefields? I don't know. I'm tired of playing some of these other objectives that all they ever get played is just the ones that always get played. So I'm doing something different. Hyperspace Assault, you might be thinking, but then you reduce your activations. Like, well, a lot of people will pick it, and then guess where I get to put my potato? Exactly where I want to put my potato, and it will stay exactly where I want it, and it will just fire into people's rear arcs over and over and over again, and it will kill whatever I put it behind. And of course, Advanced Gunnery with an MC-80 with Ackbar is just with Defiance and quad battery turrets and one in 5 activations is just most lists nowadays in meta 5 activations is typically what most fleets run. Some can do most Imperialists can only really get up to 6 and then still have a reasonable amount of upgrades to do things, and this still being 5. And if I am second player, that's my bonus 6 with Bale. Like, I'm still optimizing fighting for Imperials, because any rebels that also are wanting to get more than 5 activations, they're typically sacrificing something else to obtain that. So I feel like this was just a really fine balance of activations and firepower, and just wham wham, punch you in the face with stuff. And again, maybe I'll switch out the red objective, maybe to most wanted. That's probably a better call, as most wanted, and the other objectives. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just kind of playing around with stuff that I typically don't ever try to play or take. So that's my list. My opponent, Potato, he's flying an Imperial list. He loves. This is like my second or third game on Vassal against him. I've played him in real life as Spokane. He loves victories, and he loves the VSD ones. And I can't argue with him. VSD ones, in terms of it's just so multi-role. It's just the VSD one. I think is a better version than the VSD two. I mean, opinions will vary, but the reason why I say that is because you use it as a block. If anything wants to come kill it, it usually will survive a punch, and it will counter punch with all the black die. He runs Warlord. I love Warlord. It makes it a great little flak boat in most situations. Brunson kind of gives it a little bit more survivability, and he's got the quad lasers on there. So just if Squadrons want to go kill it, they're usually going to pay a price for it. He is running Squadron lists though. He's got a Comsnet Gazanti, Arcadins with Nita, Slave Turrets, Reinforced Blast Doors, and he's running a Simoon with Vader, with H9 Spinals, Intensify Tuna to give it ECM, and he's got Devastator. So I looked at his list, and as I punch it forward here, he had 400, and I'm at 399. So he laid out his objectives. All right, so let me talk about the objectives. So the first thing, this is my first mistake. Okay, guys. So tell me, I picked first. You can probably already tell if you're an expert, like, why would you pick first against this? Because I'm an Imperial player, and when I see that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 activations and someone's 4, I just automatically assume, oh, I want first last. That's what I want. That was a mistake. Why was it a mistake? I have Bale. I only need first player for the one turn, and the one turn only. That's why I brought Bale. If I didn't care about that, I would bring Strategic Advisor. So that was my first mistake, giving away first player. And I mean, you can debate that if it was a mistake or not. But like I said, it's just all semantics. But I gave away first player, compared to how my list wants to be second player, and force him to choose from my objectives. Instead, I had to choose from his objectives, which he had Station Assault, Hyperspace Assault, and I don't remember what his blue was. Something dumb. Or maybe not dumb. Solar Corona? It was Solar Corona. There we go. So I chose Station Assault just to do something different. And that objective really didn't play into anything at all, which is why I choose Station Assault most times, because it's not gonna help my opponent usually out as much as he thinks it will, and it doesn't really stop me from doing much to me. So my opinion was I chose first. I should have chose second because Defiance works best as second player because then you force that player to come into your MC80's range and then you pound him in the face with it. So now we're setting out the obstacles. We're just doing some chitter chatter on the chat box there. Actually, let me check my OBS, make sure I'm not blocking all of it. Nope, looks fine. Bring up the die window. Excuse me. So we'll get this all out on here. For some reason, all the obstacles didn't place. That's weird. Well, that's all right. But none of the obstacles come into play at all. They don't do anything. I'll try to remember where some of them were. This one was like right there. And then this one was at distance 1 away from that one, like right there. And the debris fields, there's like one over here, and then like one over here like that. Something like that. That's about roughly where things were. Yeah, I'd say that's about roughly where things were. But no one hit any of the debris stuff except, the station. So those are placed correctly. So we're not going to worry about that. The first thing I do is I threw down my Pelta going straight forward at this. And I thought I had done it just right, but I didn't. But that's all right. And that was just, again, in terms of deployment, I'm not trying to give away any information. Because if he wants to split the middle, I will first deploy right in the middle and force him to pick a side, okay? Because if I had picked a side, that would show, okay, this is where my stuff is going to be, potentially, things of that nature. So I middle deployed, because that doesn't, for me, I feel like I'm not giving away information, and I'm still forcing him to react to that, which he put his Gazanti down, and then I put my Pelta down over here. And my Pelta, my goal with that was, again, just still not wanting to give away any information, putting my Pelta someplace safe with speed 1. If I needed to, I can engine tech him to where he needs to be at speed, Poseidon 3. And my goal was to bring him through this area here, and his job was to essentially start killing stations, or be bait. Peltas make great bait. If he wants to come after and kill my Intensify Firepower in my Pelta that's only 75 points, while I kill everything else, that's fine. I don't mind that at all. Yeah, so that was my plan there. And again, not want to give him any more information, put down my next GR. He puts down his ISD. And then not knowing where that Warlord was going, I shouldn't have placed my MC80 where I should have placed my potato. But I wanted to see if he was going to place Warlord either left or right of the ISD, and so I put my MC80 down, fiddling with it a bit, put it at speed 1, and he actually puts Warlord just straight front and center of my MC80. And at the time, I thought that was fine. You'll see that does not work out for me very well. And then for my potato, I have to bait it, put it on the left, and having it run in to kill the Archidans, so the Archidans wasn't focus firing on my MC80. But then he would just turn his ISD towards my MC80, and Invader's Simoon is just, I feel like it's just going to slightly overpower faster than my potato can munch through to come help him out. So I put my potato on the right, because I wanted to see that with the Pelta and the Assault Frigate on the right, if he would turn that ISD towards them, and he would commit his Archidans and his victory to just trying to kill my MC80. And my goal with that was to then MC80 can absolutely tank those two, and then still help kill the ISD, and the potato and the Pelta are acting as that bait for that. So I bail for turn 3. That's kind of my second, you can say it's a mistake, not a mistake. I bail on turn 3 because I wanted the tokens. That's why I bailed on turn 3, because why bring them? I want free tokens. And I thought that And I honestly should have just done it for turn 1 or turn 2. I don't know why I didn't. I just, like I said, not used to playing Rebels and Bale and remembering what he does. But that comes back to bite me in the butt. So we set all of our things. And set chaff, and of course, turn 1, everyone's just doing jockeying, getting their positioning, etc. Moving my Pelta. Now, I thought I was just going to move my Pelta right there and not move it forward, but again, I wanted to encourage that Star Destroyer to turn towards my Pelta. So I engine teched it and maneuvered it. And I thought that my Assault Frigate was going to be just fine, being able to get past it. Well, it turns out on my next activation, because again, I'm not wanting to have my GR75 ram and then be left way back here. So I decided, oh, you know what, I'll move the potato. And then I'm like, oh no, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it without overlapping the rock or ramming my Pelta. So I'm like, you know what, I'll just take the leap of faith. I'll do plus ultra. And locked it in and committed to it. And you'll see there, I just barely manage to not ram the Pelta. Just barely a pixel or two of space there. And actually, this rock was a bit closer. It was more like right there. So still like really close. Yeah, but I felt that I was really proud of myself for that, because it means his ISD is going to move forward. My frigate's in a perfect spot for it to shoot. Pelta's in a spot to shoot. Now it is Devastator, so when you shoot Devastator, you better be throwing everything you have at it at once, and then pray that you kill it before it can get a full power shot off. Is the idea. So managed to do that. He moves his ISD. He's trying to figure out what he wants to do. So he does that little number, which again, really great for keeping front on target, but not going so fast, so far forward. He gets red range on things. And here, like I said, I kind of screw up in that I get my GR75 a little stuck. But you know what? It can take landing on a rock. No big deal. It got a face-up card of something not important. I don't think it's going to show the damage cards. Vassal's been a little weird lately in terms of showing things. Alright. And then here I am checking ranges and things. I didn't know how I wanted my MC75. My fear was that if I turned too hard, that it would that I would only have front arc on the ISD. I wouldn't get any side arc shots, and I can't have that. I need to have side arc on the ISD, or double arc. Trying to figure out how to do this, and then I made it was like, oh, you know what? That's fine. I'll just move ahead, speed 1, and then engine tech speed 1 straight ahead. And that was another error right there. I should not have done that. I should have sped up and sacrificed losing the quad battery on 2, because I needed the 1-in-1. I needed a little bit more of that jank over in the long run, so I could get better arcs and turning for later on. Because another thing too about MC80s engaging Star Destroyers is, in order to bring down something fast and also get that benefit from Bale from the last first, you need to be ramming that Star Destroyer to bring it down, so the brace is not coming into as much of effect in terms of being able to kill it. Since I didn't do that, that ultimately leads to my MC80's demise. And he takes a few pot shots, where he will on the next turn. Now we're on round 2. We're all spending our tokens, doing our things. And I had moved my GR because I was hoping he would activate his Devastator first and just bring it forward. But no such luck, but that's alright. Now I activate my potato. Do the 4. I use the reroll. Accuracy is brace, and this was so good because it's 4 damage. And I act his brace, and I just thought he was just going to spend redirect and just redirect it, but he actually blows ECM to brace to spend his brace. Again, he's wanting to supercharge up his Devastator, I get it, But I didn't feel like that was a great choice for his ECM right there for 4 damage. Because as it turns out, he has essentially with Devastator, like you gotta be using all of your shields to full effect. Um, which means spending repair tokens and things of that nature so that you can shuffle those shields around or have repairs. You gotta shuffle things around. Move my potato over there, and he still ends up in a front arc shot. I thought he was just going to barely be able to get out. But you know what? It's at long range. He still has brace, evade, redirect. Like, it's a assault frigate. He's going to be okay, even from a Vader Simon. Because remember, he put himself to where that obstacle is still an obstacle. Even though it's his station, it's obstructing all of his shots. Sure, it's obstructing my shots, but it's also obstructing his shots. He's canceling more of his die than he is of mine. He moves Warlord. Had kept him out of range there. I went ahead and moved my Pelta because again I couldn't get my GR75 out at speed 2. I still needed him to give the concentrate fire token to the Pelta. I guess I could have done it a little differently so that that could have worked out. Because I do have Ahsoka on the thing. He could change that token to whatever he wanted. But I was like, you know what? I want to commit to the bait. See if he turns towards my Pelta. Just shoot the station a little bit. And again, just trying to figure out a position where I want that Pelta to be. I do a slight angle. So if he comes up on me, I can potentially double arc. Does his Devastator. He takes his 2 shots. Again, he's spending his tokens. And on this roll, I decided to use Lando because that was pretty much the only time his front arc is going to threaten my assault frigate. So that's the perfect time to use Lando. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to use Lando on the first shot he takes. Well, no, with this die roll, that's the perfect time to use Lando. Don't suffer unnecessary damage. So I force him to roll both the doubles and the crit. And that turns one of them into a blank, gets rid of one of the doubles. I then evade cancel the right, it did. Oh yeah, I counted up. It didn't matter if I evaded or braced, and again, that was the only shot he was going to take. So I braced and redirect. Takes his next shot at my poor Pelta again, rolling all the doubles in the world. Just crazy amount of doubles he threw, and he's got H9s. He did intensify into H9, lock my brace. Cancel the double. He's still doing all right. Just sucked all the shields off. But again, just kind of oof, all those doubles doing work. Again, he moves the Star Destroyer to do a center, and then when he did that though, he did get in double arc of my MC80, which is great. I love getting double arcs. Again, still gotta wait for everything else before I move Defiance. He shoots his Archidins. Let's go ahead and I know that's the only shot he's gonna take. Brace redirect. And he actually slows his Archidin down. I thought he was actually going to speed him up a little bit. I was hoping he would... my thought was that he would speed it up to give it the choice of, okay, well, you can either double arc my ISD, or you can use one of those shots on the Archidins. I thought he was going to try to use it as a draw, because he does have reinforced blast doors on it. So it's pretty unlikely I can one-shot it. Not that I couldn't. I definitely can. But the probability is not high for that, and he would be able to, get value out of those reinforced blast doors while drawing some fire off his ISD. Because this situation, I got double arc, I have quad battery turrets, I have Defiance. I'm still throwing a lot of extra die into it at the ISD, especially with the double. So I don't Ackbar, because a lot of people will be like, oh, I've got a big fat side arc, I'm going to Ackbar. It's like, no, don't do that, because then you just missed out on 2 extra die from your front with quad battery turrets and from Defiance. That's the 2 extra die that you would have gotten from Ackbar on the side. So why would you give that up? Again, multiple attacks, burn tokens, strip off, potentially more shields and things like that. Because again, he's already spent his brace. He's going to save the brace for the big whammy. So that just means that when you throw your die out your front, you're pushing theoretically more damage in. So here we go on the front. Of course, I roll double blanks. I have Intensify. I could just turn the 1 and still get 3, which is average. I know he's not going to brace, so I'm gonna leading shots because I'm fishing for doubles. I should have re-rolled the black. I don't know why I didn't, but I re-roll the reds to fish for doubles. And again, I still have Intensify Firepower for the 1 blank. I managed to switch that back to 3 damage, so it's still essentially the same result. Just trying to fish for those doubles. I should have re-rolled the black again. Not thinking about it. Spends his redirect, throws the shield, or throws the damage on his right. Again, target the front again. Here comes the next big whammy. And just use Intensify Firepower. Accuracy is brace, so he doesn't have ECM. He can't brace it. Again, just pushing all the damage in that he can. Takes it off his front. And yeah, he had redirected, again, some damage before. So he's got no shields left on the front or left or right. The crit he drew was just worthless, not the crit that I wanted. Or rather, he discarded his contain, I think, for that shot. Yeah, he did. And then, again, this is where I mess up. I should have just went ahead and had jumped to speed 2 to get in range to do the ram shenaniganery, but I didn't sit through and go through all the movement tool options. I thought I had, I didn't. Always make sure you're taking time, especially this is like the most important movement, because if I don't kill this Star Destroyer next turn, it's going to have Devastator, and it's going to wreck my MC-80. And so I should have just done a full commit in terms of trying to get a ram on it, but I thought I was being clever and that I could get what I wanted otherwise. And as it turns out, nope, that's absolutely not the case. I stayed at speed 1 because, again, I wanted the quad battery turrets for my attacks on him. But that, and I spent the navigate the engine techs. But I should have just sped up the 2, and I should have just gotten range to be able to. And that was, again, second mistake was then turning towards, because again, I wanted the double arc. I shouldn't have been worrying about that. I should have been trying to get my MC-80 in the right position to still get the double arc and then be able to ram the ISD. By putting my MC-80 in this position, I'm not able to do any sort of ramming on that ISD. So big mistake, not flying the MC-80 very well at all. As I said before about the earlier movement, about have I just shimmied it over at speed 2, that was just, small mistakes add up over time. So we do the next round. I have to move my MC-80 first. And that was, again, coming back to the whole Bale thing, was having to move him first, because he definitely could survive until the ISD had moved. But I didn't, because Defiance, adding in that black die, I mean, you don't undervalue it. It's very important to have as much extra die as you want. Because that was the thing, too, is like, you could play it either way. It just sucks because Devastator will be supercharged no matter what if I don't play it correctly, which I didn't. Because Devastator gets to take his full powered shot, because I end up being just short. So I rolled my initial 3. Again, no Ackbar because I've got the double arc, got the quad battery to add the extra one. I know he's I thought he was going to brace the shot because he's got double brace, and then I realized that he doesn't want to do that because he needs the Vader to reroll. You got to be able to have some form of reroll if you crap out. So he takes all of it to hull. Puts him down to 6. Again, he's got no redirects. All I have to do is 6 damage up the side, but again, he's got brace, so I need to do more than that. So here comes the side shot. 4 reds, 2 blues, and man, I just pulled all the doubles, which is great. Add in the quad batteries, and now I have to figure out what I'm wanting to do to try to get the damage in and everything else. So I Confire token, reroll, and then Intensify Firepower. I know he's going to brace, and he has ECM, so I can't stop it. So I'm just trying to pump in as much damage as I can, and with that, I was able to get 9. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that was the threshold, because if it was just 8, that's braced down to 4, that wasn't going to do it. Going from 8 to 9, it braces to 5. all the damage in the world. It puts him down to 1 health. And now you see the error of my ways. I needed to be able to ram the ISD, and if I'd been able to ram the ISD, I would have tabled. Him. No way Arcaden in a victory is going to be able to take out my MC80, which is spamming repair. It's getting fed repair tokens. It's just not going to happen. So that was, again, that all comes back to my misplays, just piling up. This is why eventually I lose my MC80. So again, I try to figure out if I can ram. I know I can't ram it, so now I'm trying to see if I can get out of the front arc of this monstrosity, and nope, not gonna happen. So Devastator does the right thing. He's going to kill the Pelta. Make sure he doesn't need his reroll for that. But yeah, rolls super awesome damage, kills that Pelta. Here comes that next roll. Does the Vader to get the Devastator. Here comes all the Devastator. Gets all the accuracies he needs to lock down everything. Of course, I ECM for brace. So this puts my my poor little MC80 with no shields on the left and 6 hull. But I've used my brace. Brace has been used. And I just move the Gazanti because there's no need to activate my Assault Frigate and bring it in range of a victory that will just shoot at it yet. So he gets, about average roll for him. Or not for him, but for a victory. He does the whole intensified, a blank to a hit, to an accuracy to double. And with all this damage, and then yeah. So in this situation, I should have just ditched the brace right here. And I was like, no, this is fine. I can soak this damage. It's only 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 damage. Yeah, no problem. I should have ditched my brace, everyone. I should have ditched my brace because I have first, and it would have saved me all of this follow-on damage. Should have braced. I should have discarded it. I didn't. Because now the victory is going to be ramming. I'm losing more and more hull, and now I have no shields left. All from I should have discarded the brace there again, but I didn't. My salt potato finishes off the ISD. I should have had a nav queued up here because now he ends up being out of range. Pour fire on the victory again. Misplay. I thought I was going to need the concentrate fire, but again, with everything shooting at the ISD, I didn't need it. So if I had nav, I would have been in range to threaten that victory. Didn't have it. Now all of his fire is pouring in from his Arcadins. And again, I had the chaff. I should have chaffed on this side. I should have anticipated that the Gazanti was going to throw shots in. Arcaden was going to show threats in. So it was like I could have saved 3 die, and all I ended up saving was 1 die from the front. So again, didn't play that very well. Keep the Arcanins right where he can pump damage into my thing. Again, here comes the Gazanti. Doing his little plink plink. That's all you need. So now my MC80 has no shields left, and he's down to 2 hull. So yeah, I should have had ditched the brace, because then I would have been in a better position for the following turn. Even if I didn't have brace, there's always that possibility I could have survived. Because now I'm in a position to where it doesn't matter if I shoot the victory, I'm not going to be able to kill the victory. And nothing can follow up to kill the victory. So I'm thinking I choose the Ackbar. I'm not going to try killing the victory. Wipe out the station. And then my next goal was to kill the Arcadins. He's at medium range. Pretty good chance of... I didn't think that I could kill him, but maybe I could hurt him. But then I actually get to the point where I could kill him. All I need is... he's got the evade. All I need is one of these doubles to stay a hit. But he evades, and of course it rolls into a blank. And of course, brings him down to the 1, to the 2, which would have brought him to 1. He drew a structural, and that would have killed the Arcadins, but missed out on killing it with with the 1 damage. MC-80 can't go anywhere. Takes the ram. And by the way, my opponent removed the that second station that did blow up. Just so you know, for station assault, you do leave the destroyed unarmed stations on the board. It still counts as an obstacle in terms of blocking line of sight. So here comes the victory. It pops my poor man. Or he doesn't pop it because I had 3 shields on my right and I had brace. And so he lives with 1 health, but I mean, the next shot's going to take him out, or the ram will take him out. Rams. And then I thought I was being clever. I thought I got him out of the way. But he rolls a perfect roll, so it doesn't matter. He confires in 2 accuracies and 4 damage, the exact roll you need to kill a flotilla. Kills the flotilla. And then my assault frigate, again, just not thinking. It was a little late. It still is late. I mean, it's later on in the evening now. Just not thinking. It's like, oh yeah, I need to kill that station, so I better position my ship to kill that station. But then I don't do that. I do this stupid number, and then I put front on the station with no side shot. And I'm like, why did I do that? Now I can't kill the station. So dumb choices. And here I'm going to get the 1 damage out the front of the station because, you know, that's just how rerolls work. And then I move my assault frigate. And then at this point, it doesn't matter what happens. All it comes down to is the station has 9 health left. Can my assault frigate kill the station? I do have a double arc to have a confire, dial, and token on the ship. Probability is not high that I can, but we decide, you know what, we'll throw the die, we'll play it out. And then I end up getting an accuracy and a blank, and I'm like, alright, well I have to use my confire here because I have nothing. And I have to spend the confire token because, again, you have to resolve the command at the same time. So I add the concentrate fire, and I re-roll the 1 blank to a double hit. So I'm like, oh man, now it's like, I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to use my twins to re-roll the accuracy and the blank, and I end up rolling it into double. 6 damage. I'm like, oh, alright, now I'm back in this thing. Maybe I can kill the station. I only need 3 damage. I just need all 3 of my red die. Just all be damage. Probability of that, you know, that's, you know, 3 damage on 3 red. One of them's at least going to be a blank, is typical. 2 of them end up being blank. But I was just hoping I would get the 3 damage, kill the other station. But again, that's where, if I had maneuvered my assault frigate better to get the double arc on the station the turn before, I would have killed it, at least would have netted the extra 20 points from that. But that ends up being game. I lost 290. He lost 202, which that would have ended up being, because it's 40 points, that ended up would have been 282. And then he still would have won, but they would have been a 6-5. In this situation, it is a, oh, where's my reference book? I think a 7-4. Yeah, 7-4. But still, great game, great flying. He flew well. And as you can see, kind of like the VSD, you know, it's not my priority to shoot at because there's a Star Destroyer on the table with all the points. You know, the VSD, I don't want to shoot at until the ISD is dead. And also, to remove Vader, if you remove Vader, then the ISD and the Arcadians don't have any rerolls, less of a threat. But that's my battle. It was fun. Yeah, I'm having fun to play Rebels. Like I said, I really enjoy this list. I'm probably gonna tweak it still a little bit more, but for the most part, I mean, I feel like it's pretty beefy and it can kill things. And I haven't played max squads against it yet, but we'll see how it does when I bring it up against something like that. But for ship on ship, I feel like, you know, it can definitely go toe to toe with anything, despite my mistakes. So that's the SWAE battle. Hope you guys enjoy it. Please leave any comments, or if you have any questions about anything. I am going to be doing a live stream this Saturday I have it scheduled for noon. I think that should be sufficient enough time. I'm going to be going like on a nature hike that early that morning. I'm confident I'll be back in time. It might be a little later than that. Uh, but hopefully to see you guys there. That way we can sit down, chat for like hour and a half. Again, just be you guys. We'll talk about Star Wars stuff. Um, but that is, I was hoping to have some other news to talk about, but I don't think I'll be able to share that quite then. I'm still waiting to hear back on a couple of things. Um, but that's it. That's the thing. Yeah, you guys are fantastic, and like always, I'll catch you all later.